Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 6 of Rival Opinions. I'm Ryan Crisp here with my good friend KJ Rainey.
What's up?
Got a crazy week 9 in college football to cover. Had a lot of stuff happen, had upsets, had some letdowns, some disappointments. But a lot of content to be made, a lot to cover.
Yeah, definitely. It was a very interesting week. Just for, I guess, starters, Clemson had a bye week this week. If you didn't know, now you know. So, still undefeated.
Beat the bye.
Beat the bye, baby. So, yeah. Basically what I'll say about that is I think DJ, like I said last podcast, I think he'll start this weekend against Notre Dame. Hopefully he's took this bye week to his advantage and he's cleared his head out. You know, because he's been doing good this season. He's been spot on. I guess I don't know what happened. Maybe he just caught him by surprise or something. I don't know. But hopefully he'll have all the, I guess, nerves out, if you want to say it. But, yeah, hopefully we'll see how he does Saturday. But, yeah, that's what I got to say about Clemson since they had the bye week.
Not much to cover on that front. Next, let's go into the Syracuse and Notre Dame game.
Dude, that was
the Irish.
Talking about Notre Dame since we play them this weekend.
Yeah, the Irish pull the upset, 41-24. Knock off the Orange.
Yep. I was watching that game and it was just, I mean, Notre Dame just outright just played better than Syracuse.
Yeah, it just looked better all around.
Yeah. Let's see. Or do you want to go through the box score or what?
See, I can. Notre Dame's quarterback, 9 of 19, 116 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Their leading rusher, this time, 20 carries, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns, and their leading receiver, Mayer, 3 receptions for 54 yards. On the other side of things, you had Del Rio Wilson, 11 of 22, 190 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Tucker was the Orange's leading rusher with 16 carries, 60 yards, and a touchdown. And their leading receiver was Gadsden II, 4 receptions, 78 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, it was, Notre Dame just played a better game. I mean, 41-24, there's not much you can say except they just played a better game.
Yeah, I mean,
Syracuse, I think Syracuse, kind of like how other teams have in the past, they kind of took it as, you know, it was going to be a light game, and it ended up not being a light game, and that's what happens.
Got caught looking ahead.
That's what happens. Yeah, you got to take teams seriously. And now that kind of gives Clemson, I think, some preparation for this weekend on, you know, kind of getting more prepared because...
It's going to show you exactly what the Irish can do because they played probably their best game of the season. So you got the film on that coming in now.
Yep, we do. Next game that I want to cover will be our next game after Notre Dame. It'll be Louisville, which they played number 10 Wake Forest, beat them 48-21. Whew.
Coach Satterfield over there getting stuff turned around, getting the big win for the Cardinals.
That was a beatdown right there too. I mean, 48-21. That's.
But see, what you have to wonder about these games was Syracuse and Wake Forest overrated, or were Louisville and Notre Dame underrated?
My honest opinion, I think they were underrated.
Notre Dame has looked really bad this year. I'm still not sold on them being a good team at all. I don't know anything about Louisville, but I'm not sold.
Louisville, I mean, they don't have a bad record. They're 5-3. I think Louisville's underrated. But I mean, either way, both teams played a great game Saturday. I mean, both teams. I don't know. It's you know, it's. I don't know. It's kind of back and forth. I mean, it's just maybe it was just an upset. You know.
Yeah. Like I mean, ball can just bounce that way. I mean, any given week in college football, anything can happen.
Yeah. we'll go through the box score for Wake Forest. Hartman was 20 of 35, 271 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions.
Ooh.
3 pick sixes, actually, to be exact. Yeah,
that's
it was
why they lost right there.
Oh, no. Overall, I think they had 8 turnovers or 6. I think it was 6 turnovers.
And that's just unexcusable.
That was Oh yeah, they put in their backup quarterback and he threw an interception. So overall, there was 4 interceptions through the air for Wake Forest. For their leading rusher was Towns, 7 carries, 54 yards, 0 touchdowns. And actually, they did have a fumble. So, let's see. But 1 touchdown, too, for Ellison. So, they had 1 rushing touchdown, 2 passing touchdowns. And then for receiving, it was Green, 3 receptions, 75 yards, 0 touchdowns. So, yeah, that was turnovers.
Turnovers
really
were played.
Did not help them at all.
I mean, the turnover differential in that game tells the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be able to turn the ball over like that, and especially allow points directly off of the turnover like that and win the game.
3 pick six. 3.
Yeah.
3, dude. That's 21 points.
Like right there, if you just tell me a team has 3 pick sixes, I'm just going to assume they lost.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see. Cunningham was on Louisville's side of the ball. Cunningham was 15 of 23, 164 yards, 0 touchdowns, but 0 interceptions. Smith was 1 of 1 with 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions.
Great QBR right there.
Their leading rusher was Evans, 11 carries, 106 yards, 1 touchdown. And then Cunningham had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Okay.
So, and then receiving, Hudson was 6 receptions, 77 yards, 0 touchdowns. So, yeah, overall, Louisville just played a better game than Wake Forest. But Wake Forest has looked good this season. They have looked really good. So, that's why I think that they might have just had a hiccup, or I don't know. Maybe Louisville's just underrated.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they put it together down there in Louisville. I guess we'll see as the season continues how they hold on to that success and how they deal with it.
Yeah.
See, next we'll go into what I think was the craziest upset of Week 9. I mean, it completely shocked me. Kansas State, the Wildcats top the Oklahoma State Cowboys 48-0. The number 9 Oklahoma State Cowboys fall to number 22 in the nation 48-0.
A blowout. Skunked.
A terrible blowout.
Yeah, that was. Come on, dude. Couldn't even put points on the board, man.
Yardage in that game for Oklahoma State. Sanders was 13 of 26, 147 yards and a pick. Rushing, Gundy, 5 carries for 27 yards. And receiving, Presley, 2 receptions for 49 yards. On the other end of the spectrum for Kansas State, Howard was 21 of 37, 296 yards, 4 touchdowns. Vaughn, 22 carries, 158 yards and a touchdown. And their leading receiver, Knowles, 8 receptions for 113 yards.
Just overall, I mean,
just complete domination.
Yeah, I mean,
one of the most shocking games of the year, really. I mean, Oklahoma State looked to be on track to win the Big 12 2 weeks ago. Now they've lost 2 straight, and this one was just terrible.
Yeah, it was.
They've fallen off completely. I don't know what's happening out there, but something has went terribly, terribly wrong for Mike Gundy.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, that was just another upset, if you will say. Well, I will say, because since number 20 Cincinnati got beat by an unranked UCF, 25-21. Yardage on that, Bryant on Cincinnati's side. Bryant was 25 of 45. 298 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. For rushing, Montgomery was 3 carries, 40 yards, 1 touchdown. Receiving was Tucker, 10 receptions, 110 yards, 0 touchdowns. For UCF's side of the ball, Keene was 15 of 21, 176 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Rushing was Harvey, 18 carries, 84 yards, 2 touchdowns. And receiving was Hudson of 5 receptions, 74 yards, but 0 touchdowns. Their touchdowns came all on the ground running. That's how they won the game. And a field goal, I guess.
I like Gus Malzahn, head coach at UCF, former Auburn Tigers head coach. I think he can bounce back and get a really, really nice job. Or he might stick with UCF. They're joining the Big 12, so they will be moving up to the Power 5. I don't know. I think he's got a really, really good future there. And I think that was a good place for him to land after he left the Auburn job.
A lot of just, I don't know.
There's been a lot of coaching turnover this past week, too. Actually, it just announced earlier today, Auburn fires Brian Harsin, so now the Auburn job is available.
Yeah, Harson's out of there now. So.
A lot of big-time jobs coming available in college football. Auburn, Nebraska, Ohio State.
Just
Georgia Tech.
Yeah, a lot of shit's changing, man. I mean,
going to be a lot of new people in next year.
Before we forget, sorry, I didn't mean to cut. Were you saying something? Sorry.
Nah.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Before we forget, for Thursday, October 27th, I actually watched this game. It was a very close. I think it was a good game. NC State versus Virginia Tech. NC State pulled it out 22-21. I almost forgot to say this game or talk about this game, but I watched it Thursday night. The box score for that, Virginia Tech passing, was Wells, 11 of 22, 243 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Rushing was Thomas for 9 carries, 21 yards, 0 touchdowns. And receiving was Smith for 3 receptions, 141 yards, and 1 touchdown. So, that was a close game. It was an entertaining game to watch. It was a
nice Thursday night game.
Yeah.
Close, competitive.
Mm-hmm.
So now we can go into the game I wish I just wouldn't talk about.
Yes, it was my favorite game of the weekend, I think.
South Carolina does fall in the last game of October, 23-10 to the Missouri Tigers. Absolutely abysmal offensive performance. The play calling was so bland, so basic. I swear I think Marcus Satterfield gets his plays off of Madden. Like rookie mode. I think my 12-year-old cousin that plays football could probably call a better offense than him. I absolutely hate our scheme right now offensively. It's boring. It's bland. It's going to hurt us in recruiting because no one's going to look at that offense and say, I want to go play in that.
Yeah, I think that you guys got on like a little winning streak and you started winning games and everyone was hyped.
Well, the thing is, South Carolina was winning. But we were winning in spite of our offense. Our offense didn't play good when we won. But we were able to make big plays defensively. We were able to score and make big plays in special teams. So our offense didn't have to do as much. In the Missouri game, the defense didn't play bad. We held them 23 points. And they were on the field twice, almost 3 times as long as our offense. The time of possession difference was so bad. Special teams played fine. It was even. The offense just had to go perform and couldn't. Eric Douglas, South Carolina offensive lineman, literally said, and you can go back and watch the film on this game and you can see it, if South Carolina was going to throw the ball, the Missouri defensive linemen were holding their hands up in the air to tell their DBs that they were going to throw the ball. When we were going to run the ball, their hands were down. They knew exactly what we were going to run.
It's one-dimensional. You got one-dimensional offense, and you can't have that. I will be honest, and I'm not trying to be an ass or anything. I did think that they jumped the gun ranking Carolina at 25th. In my personal opinion, and it's not even me just because I don't like Carolina and I'm a Clemson fan or nothing. I think that it was a little jump the gun because they got on a little winning streak. Like they beat Kentucky without a quarterback, without their starting quarterback.
But you just got to go play. Nobody gave South Carolina sympathy last year when we had to rotate 5 different quarterbacks.
I mean, I know, but you also said this past week that you had unhealthy players that could be a reason that maybe you didn't play as well. So I think without the main man on Kentucky, that might have contributed some to them not being able to score as much on you guys. Overall, I think, just my personal opinion, like I said, I'm not being an ass or anything. I think that they jumped the gun on it, and I think it was kind of a lot, like, just very, I don't know, hype, I guess you could say. There was a lot of hype around.
They got to their heads. It did, and our offense is just dead. It's just dead.
Because, I mean, anyone that could sit there and say that Missouri is a stout team is, you got to be crazy. I mean, Missouri sucks.
They have a decent defense, but their offense is terrible. Overall, a terrible team. A team South Carolina should beat and has the players to be able to beat. That's the most frustrating thing about the South Carolina offense.
I don't think their quarterback's that good.
I don't think Spencer Rattler's that good either.
I don't think Rattler is good enough to change you guys around at all.
But no one can look at Jaheim Bell and tell me that that's not a first-round NFL draft pick, because he is. He is, and a lot of NFL scouts think he is. And the fact that he only got to play 9 snaps in the game and had 0 targets is inexcusable. It's inexcusable. There's no excuse for it whatsoever. Marshawn Lloyd only carried the ball 7 times for 30 yards.
Look, dude, I'm telling you, that's why I got the hat on right now. You guys can't see it. It says run the damn ball. And I'll tell you one thing. I think a lot of teams, like I said, I mean, hell, that's what Clemson had to do a few weeks ago against Syracuse. I mean, we just had to get out there, let Shipley run the damn ball. And, I mean, that's what just passing wasn't working for us that day. And sometimes you just got to put down trying to get as many yards as you can through the air, put it on the ground, get dirty with it, man. I mean.
So, overall, my takeaways from the game is bench the Rat, fire Sat. Like, we got to get him out of there. I hate Marcus Satterfield. Right now, Marcus Satterfield, if you're listening, I hope you wake up every morning and stub your pinky toe when you get out of bed. You shouldn't have a place to lay your head in Columbia, South Carolina.
Y'all, man, I don't know, like, y'all just are not good with, I don't know, like.
It seems like South Carolina has struggled with offensive play calling since Steve Spurrier retired. It really has. And the thing that's so frustrating about it is we've had offensive talent. If you go back and look over the years, we've had the guys. Shi Smith starts in the NFL. Deebo Samuel starts in the NFL. Rico Dowdle starts in the NFL. Hayden Hurst starts in the NFL. Taylor Stallworth starts in the NFL. Tyson Williams starts in the NFL. We've had the offensive guys. We just can't put together a scheme for whatever reason, and it's the most infuriating thing to have to watch. Especially when you know you have the guys there, if you can just get them the ball. And at least in the Muschamp years, we didn't have a good offense, but our best players were touching the ball. Now our best players are sitting on the sideline.
I don't know, man, but I don't want to hear no more Clemson soft.
Clemson's still soft.
Oh, dude, Carolina is a baby's ass soft, offense dude.
Soft as 10-ply. I know our offense is soft, but it don't mean you're not.
But your defense is soft compared to Clemson's offense, in my opinion. I just don't. I mean, seeing after the Missouri game, I mean, it's just.
They didn't play a bad game in the Missouri game.
I mean, you still let Missouri score 23 points.
Yeah, but they were in the game for over half the game. That's the thing.
I mean, still, you got to be prepared for situations like that.
Saying that even if you put Clemson's defense in that position, they're going to give up points. You can't not. At that point, you're going to be gassed. There's no way around it. And your defense should never be out there for that long.
That's not true. That's not true. I will not agree with that about Clemson's defense. The Syracuse game is a good example of that. They scored, what was it? It was 21-10 at halftime for the Syracuse game. Defense was on the field the entire first half of the game because we kept turning the ball over. Second half,
they were gassed, but you had halftime to recoup, and then they weren't out there as much. If you would have had your defense sitting out there for that long, the whole game, they would have got gassed. That's the thing. There's no way around not getting gassed when you're like that. I mean, it's inexcusable for the defense to be out there like that. They should have never been because the offense took care of business.
Yeah. But I will say, Clemson's defense, if they were still on the field a good bit, we just wouldn't let Syracuse score that game. The whole second half, they didn't score a single point on us. Field goal, touchdown, nothing. I'm telling you, Clemson's defense is...
Oh, Clemson's got a good defense.
Dude,
It'll be interesting to see where they're at in about 2 years whenever you've got some of the Venables players cycled out.
Oh, dude. How did Oklahoma, did they...
I don't know.
How did they even
Hey, let
do?
me run through the stats real quick for this.
Oh, yeah,
Carolina
go
game.
ahead. Go ahead. I'll
Spencer
look.
Rattler, 20 of 30, 171, 1 pick. Warshawn, 7 carries, 30 yards. Our leading receiver, Stogner, 4 receptions for 63 yards. On the Missouri side of the ball, Brandon Cook, 17 of 26, 224. Rushing, Schrader, 22 carries, 81 yards, and a touchdown. And receiving, Lovett, 10 receptions for 148 yards. That's how did Oklahoma do?
If I'm not mistaken, let me see. They might have had a bye week. Let me see. 10-20. No, that was this weekend, wasn't it? 10-29?
Yep.
Yeah, they beat Iowa State. They beat Ken. Yeah, I mean, I think Venables.
Venables
I think
and
they'll
the
do good
Sooners
there.
bouncing back.
Yeah, they bounced back after that Texas
Massacre.
game. Yeah, that was 49-0, dude. That was Texas Chainsaw right there, buddy.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was something to see.
Overall, I think that about covers week 9 in college football.
I don't want to hear no one saying nothing about Clemson no more, man.
Everybody in the comments, remind them Clemson's still soft as 10-ply.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see.
Oh, by the way, I will be rocking all South Carolina gear except for a Notre Dame hat this Saturday because I do have a Notre Dame hat.
I'm wearing a Clemson shirt to the game this Saturday.
I wouldn't do that.
I don't, dude. If someone threw a beer on me,
I wouldn't wear a Carolina shirt if I went to a Clemson game. I'd wear regular clothes. Or we'll stop and get you a Vandy shirt.
no, I'll stick with my white and orange run the damn ball hat. But I don't feel like getting in no fights there. I don't think, especially not when it's literally my team's not there. So it's kind of. And for you, those of you wondering, why is a Clemson fan going to a Carolina game? First off, it'd be cool to see Carolina lose to Vandy in Knoxville. It'd be,
Well, number one,
or Nashville, not
And number two,
Knoxville.
we're
I
not
don't know where
losing-
Vanderbilt's
We don't
at.
lose to Vandy. Okay.
We
don't lose to
you
Vandy.
were straight up pretty confident you weren't going to lose to Missouri.
We
either.
haven't lost to Vandy. In 13
Missouri
years.
is a Vandy, dude.
Nah. Missouri,
Missouri barely beat Vanderbilt this year.
I know, but Missouri always has been a problem for South Carolina. Like, we haven't beat Missouri in a while. I had a feeling that game could be a struggle. I'm very confident that we will not lose. If we lose to Vanderbilt, it will be panic mode for South Carolina. But I really don't see us losing to Vandy. Haven't lost in 13 years. I don't think this is the year. I just don't.
We'll see.
I don't think Vandy's that good. But no, I understand why you come to a Carolina game, just like I'd go to a Clemson game with
No,
you.
yeah, it's just for the, I guess, just to, have a,
You go get to watch some college
football,
tailgate, hang out.
yep.
We will be recording some content down there.
Yes, we will. I think we're gonna have our predictions for all the upcoming games this weekend. It'll be probably Friday night-ish, maybe Saturday.
Tune into the Instagram Friday morning. I will be releasing the crisp pick of the week for the South Carolina game. That is going to be coming every week. Started it last week. I'm going to continue it throughout the rest of the season and probably going into basketball and baseball season.
I will probably start something else like that. KJ pick of the week, or so I'll come up with a cool name for it or something. But yeah, look, Friday we'll be putting in our predictions for Saturday's games. Look for us on Saturday. We'll be making videos about all college football during out the day while we tailgate and have a good time.
Tailgate. Might even try to get some special content made up with our good friend Levi. Come on, kind of a special guest, give his insight into the college football world.
First guest on the podcast. It'll be 2 Carolina fans versus 1 Clemson fan, but don't worry, Tiger Nation. I'll hold them down. I'll hold them down.
You got to back him up in the comments.
Yeah, back me up. We actually gotten we've gotten a few Clemson fans coming in now, and some comments coming in. We appreciate you guys,
Yeah,
really.
We appreciate everybody that's tuning in, anybody that's sitting and listening this far into the podcast. You really are the real MVP.
Yeah, if you hear right now, dude, hats off to you, man, because
Comment. Let us know if you're here. If you're hearing this part of the podcast, of course, we'll respond to you. And I tell you what, if you comment right now, we will shout you out in the next episode of the podcast.
yes, we will. Let's see. How about you guys put in your predictions for this Saturday?
Yeah.
Just comment anything. Follow the socials. Instagram, rival_opinions_. TikTok is just rival opinions. You're here on the YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe now.
And Twitter is coming soon. That is something we're looking into making. I can't guarantee when it'll be up, but my goal is to get that made by this weekend.
Start tweeting some stuff.
Gotta get on there with Mr. Elon.
Yeah, Mr. Elon, man.
But overall, this is our Week 9 predictions. We'll see you Friday whenever we are posting our predictions for Week 10. Until then, I'm Ryan Crisp.
I'm KJ Rainey, and we glad you guys tuned in, and have a good one. Go Tigers,
Go
baby.
Cox.